this was the hard part, getting the whole key system out of the car. So it took me 4 hours to actually get this out. 95% of the work was done. However, pulling one of these clips in which this whole thing sits in the door lock mechanism is what held us back from getting this out. So there's a clip which it's like this, and you just need to push it like this, and then this will come out. That is what was holding us back. So now that we've got this, I'm going to show you the remaining portion of the repair. This is the circlip which has just been removed. This sits here tight. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to show you how this opens. So let's get some pictures of this before we open it, so we know how it goes back in. So this is how it is. When I look at the key from the front, this has to show up here. One more picture, and we know that this has to go in this direction. Move this clip out. Let's keep these parts aside. The most important thing here is whenever you work with this any key system or a mechanism, this key, if it goes in, then please keep it in there. So if I were to draw it, I could explain this better to you. So let's just try and show it to you here. So it's more like a cylinder. With a notch like this, so you can imagine. And the key system rotates in this. It's another cylinder which rotates inside this, and your key goes in here. So when you put your key in, there are lots of levers which engage and go up and down here, as you can see. So the moment you put your key in, all these cylinders are spring loaded and they come back in, which makes it the right combination for your key, and this whole cylinder rotates in the outer cylinder. So these are all spring loaded, and since they are inside the cylinder, they don't pop out. So if you remove the key and you pull that cylinder out, everything can pop out. So now that you understood that bit, hold this rear portion tight and actually move this thing out. Fairly simple. Now you've got the spring loaded system. This can also be taken out pretty easily. Let me get a little more light on this. Now we come to the main part of this lock, and I'm not going to leave it loose. Part of this lock, and I'm not going to leave it loose. So the most important thing here is you have to have this key engaged inside this cylinder. Do not remove it out. Now move to this position, and you can slowly, once you've removed this so-called circlip, you've got this, and they're just going to be here. Now that you've done that, you position this in such a way that this can come out. Once you pull that guy out, you have a spring and a lot of other things happening here. But I think we can push this whole system through, and it's very important you keep everything intact here, because if this key comes out, all these little levers that you see here will just pop out. And as you can see, there's one very badly erring lever here which is out of sync with these. The moment you put this key in, all these levers are supposed to actually go in, and that's exactly what's happened here. As you can see, this lever is just popped out here, because of which none of the other keys are none of the other levers are out, only this lever is out, because of which the cylinder will not rotate in the barrel. You can see this erring lever, so that has to be removed. Now the point is, the moment you put this key in, all these levers go in, because the key is supposed to be doing that, and because the key is sending everything in, what happens is all the levers go in and it rotates in its barrel, which is this. You can see some pieces of the lever also broken in. They're inside this. The spring is there. You can see some other debris which we'll clear. But for now, let this be in there and let us try and clean whatever debris we have in there with a piece with a earbud. So you can see a lot of debris here. This is also a broken piece from where this came. Maybe one of the levers completely broke. I'm going to try. So what we will do now is this airing lever, we very clearly know that is the airing one. So we know this complete system doesn't even rotate. So the idea is to make sure this rotates when you remove this airing lever. What I'm going to do is I'm just going to keep my fingers and close every single thing here. This has to be very carefully done because springs could just pop out and you won't know which spring goes where. So once I've done this, I slowly try and remove this airing lever, and you also have to make sure the spring that is inside it is taken out and it doesn't get stuck there, because if it does get stuck, then again you have the same number of problems you started with, or in fact more. So taking this might not be very easy. This guy out seems to be X4 is the number of the. Wow, we've got him out. So this is great news. I do have a few X4 levers here. Could try replacing the lever, but again it is quite a task to put it back in. But I'll just show you a demo of how this works now. The key can go in any direction. Be a little careful. Hold them in place. You can now see that the key is perfectly in place. And if I put it into this, it will actually, as expected, it will also rotate the way it should have once it's inside. Spring has to be loaded onto this lever, after which it would start working the way it should. So now we've got the spring loaded too, so you can see how this opens. That's exactly how much it would rotate to open the lock. So now the spring, this works perfectly well. I don't see any issues here. So it seems all right now. So this goes back into the car lock and we should be good to go. Thanks guys for watching, and I think this should help you.